Unbelievable. Alex Eala's viral arrival in Cincinnati has taken the internet by storm, and once again, the Filipino community has shown just how powerful the Eala effect has become. The 21-year-old from the Philippines had not even stepped onto the match court in Ohio, yet social media was already exploding with videos of fans waving Philippine flags, chanting her name, and gathering around the Lindner Family Tennis Center just to catch a glimpse of their favorite player. Nobody expected the welcome to become this massive. From Washington to Toronto and now Cincinnati, the Eala effect continues to grow, and the tennis world is running out of words to describe what it is witnessing. It all started with a simple moment at the Lindner Family Tennis Center in Mason, Ohio, when a fan captured Alex Eala arriving at the practice courts. Almost instantly, the atmosphere changed. Fans erupted, Philippine flags appeared throughout the crowd, and within hours, the footage was spreading across TikTok, Instagram, and X. The internet had officially caught another wave of Eala fever. What happened in Cincinnati looked remarkably similar to what happened in Toronto, but somehow it felt even more personal. Fans had reportedly arrived hours before Eala's appearance, with Filipino families traveling from different parts of Ohio and beyond just to see her. Ohio is home to a significant Filipino-American community, and supporters were determined to make their presence felt in Mason. One viral clip showed fans gathering around the practice courts, while another captured Eala smiling and waving back at the crowd, sending supporters into another frenzy. Comments quickly poured in from around the world, with fans calling it the Eala effect and celebrating how her popularity was spreading from one city to another. Toronto had already demonstrated the power of Filipino support, but Cincinnati showed that this movement was not limited to one tournament or one community. Eala herself has embraced the incredible support surrounding her, especially after her memorable run in Toronto. She has repeatedly expressed gratitude for Filipino fans showing up, saying that seeing the community enjoy tennis is an amazing experience and hoping that her success can help introduce the sport to even more people. That is what makes the Cincinnati scenes so significant. Even though the Filipino population in Cincinnati itself is much smaller than in Toronto, supporters from across Ohio and other parts of the United States were willing to travel to Mason to be there. The result was a sea of Philippine flags, passionate chants, and fans waiting for even a few seconds of interaction with Eala. The support has become more than just noise in the stands. It has become part of her journey. After an exhausting North American hardcourt stretch that included a maiden WTA title in Washington and a deep run in Toronto, Eala arrived in Cincinnati with plenty of tennis already in her legs. She had played 8 matches in roughly 12 days, making her decision to prioritize recovery even more important. Eala acknowledged how grateful she was to be healthy and explained that staying fit was always one of her biggest priorities. She also talked about taking some time away from tennis, spending time with friends, and simply enjoying the moments when she was not competing. But once she stepped into Cincinnati, she knew she would have another powerful source of motivation waiting for her: the Filipino crowd. And that support could become especially valuable as she continues her final preparation for the US Open. So the big question is this: what exactly has Alex Eala done to create this level of excitement? How has a 21-year-old player from the Philippines become one of the most talked about names on the WTA Tour? The answer starts with her remarkable results. After winning her first WTA title in Washington, Eala carried that momentum into Toronto and extended her winning streak to 7 consecutive matches before eventually falling to Belinda Bencic. Along the way, she defeated some highly respected opponents and proved that she could compete with established stars on the biggest stages. Her performances have changed the way people view her, but her impact goes far beyond the scoreboard. Eala is becoming a symbol of possibility for young Filipino athletes, and every time she walks onto a court, thousands of fans see more than just a tennis player. They see representation, pride, and a reason to believe that someone from the Philippines can reach the highest levels of global tennis. That is why the scenes in Cincinnati matter. This is no longer simply about one player having a good tournament. The Eala effect is becoming a movement, and with the US Open approaching, the tennis world may be about to discover just how big it can become. Naomi Osaka, Jessica Pegula, and some of the biggest names in women's tennis have all crossed paths with Alex Eala during her remarkable rise, and now her Cincinnati seeding tells the story better than almost anything else. Eala entered the Cincinnati Open as the number 17 seed, marking her highest seeding ever at a WTA 1000 tournament. As one of the top 32 seeds, she received a first-round bye, meaning she would begin her Cincinnati campaign in the second round and gain valuable extra time to recover before taking the court. Just a short time ago, this kind of treatment seemed almost unimaginable. Eala once had to rely on wild cards or battle through qualifying just to reach the main draw. Now, she is earning the same advantages reserved for the established stars of the sport. And that transformation has happened incredibly quickly. Ranked number 20 in the world, Eala entered Cincinnati without having to defend ranking points from the previous year because she had never played the tournament's main draw before. That gave her another major opportunity during the North American hardcourt swing. A deep run could move her even higher in the rankings and potentially put her within striking distance of the top 15 for the first time in her career. But the Cincinnati draw offered absolutely no easy route. If Eala advanced through the second round, she could face a dangerous opponent in the third round, followed by another major test in the fourth round. Names like Linda Noskova, Jessica Pegula, Iga Swiatek, Elena Rybakina, Aryna Sabalenka, and Coco Gauff could potentially stand between Eala and another deep tournament run. On paper, it looks brutal. But there is one detail that makes Eala's opponents even more nervous. She has already proven that she can beat many of them. She has defeated elite players such as Swiatek, Rybakina, Gauff, and Pegula, with some of those victories coming more than once. That is where the fear factor surrounding Eala comes from. Opponents can no longer look at her as a young outsider hoping to make an impact. They know she can walk onto the court against a top player and actually win. Cincinnati is also an important final preparation event before the US Open, which begins August 30th in New York, and for Eala, every match represents another opportunity to test herself against the very best. But what makes her rise even more fascinating is that her impact is no longer limited to what happens between the lines. Eala is becoming a cultural phenomenon, and some of the moments that have made the biggest impact have nothing to do with a tennis match. One of the clearest examples came through her growing friendship with Coco Gauff. On August 11th, 2026, Eala shared a playful TikTok featuring herself and Gauff spending time together at an ice cream shop in Toronto's Yorkville neighborhood. With Taylor Swift's Endgame playing in the background, the two young stars lip-synced and joked around for the camera. Eala captioned the video with a playful reference to Rush Hour, and Gauff quickly joined the fun in the comments. Fans immediately went crazy. The video spread rapidly across social media, generating millions of views and hundreds of thousands of reactions as supporters celebrated the friendship between two of the most exciting young players in tennis. But underneath the fun was something much bigger. Fans were getting a glimpse of the next generation of tennis stars away from the pressure of competition. Gauff has already spoken highly of Eala, praising what she is doing for the sport and describing her as someone young athletes can look up to. Their friendship also has history. The two have shared the court in doubles and have experienced the unique pressure that comes with becoming successful at such a young age. Gauff announced herself on the world stage as a teenager, while Eala's breakthrough has accelerated dramatically over the past year. They understand what it means to carry enormous expectations while still trying to enjoy the journey. And that is exactly why moments like their viral TikTok matter. They show fans a side of tennis that traditional highlights cannot capture. Then came another major moment on August 13th, when Eala shared photos from her Cincinnati arrival. She was smiling for cameras, greeting supporters, and preparing for another huge challenge. Her message was simple but powerful. She was honored to represent her country and deeply grateful for the love and recognition she was receiving. That gratitude has become a recurring theme throughout Eala's rise, especially when she talks about Filipino supporters. After her Toronto run, she posted an emotional message thanking the community for making her feel at home. Her famous Barangay Toronto reference captured exactly what had been happening around her. Filipino fans were no longer simply attending matches. They were creating an atmosphere that followed Eala from city to city. And that is what makes the Eala story so extraordinary. She is winning matches, climbing the rankings, defeating established stars, and earning bigger seeds, but at the same time, she is creating a connection with fans that goes far beyond tennis. From Washington to Toronto to Cincinnati, the flags keep appearing, the crowds keep getting louder, and the attention keeps growing. The question now is no longer whether Alex Eala belongs on the biggest stages. She has already answered that. The real question is just how far this rise can go before the US Open arrives. With every victory, every viral moment, and every packed section of Filipino supporters, Alex Eala is proving that her story is becoming bigger than a ranking number. And if Cincinnati is any indication, the next chapter could be her biggest one yet. The barangay that follows its team everywhere has now inspired something similar around Alex Eala, and the phenomenon is becoming impossible to ignore. But the story does not stop with viral videos, packed practice courts, or emotional messages from Filipino fans. Another major moment is waiting just around the corner. On August 27, 2026, Eala is scheduled to step onto Arthur Ashe Stadium at Flushing Meadows for an exhibition match alongside fellow rising stars Joel Fana, Eva Liss, and Lerner Tien, with a portion of the ticket proceeds going toward youth tennis and education programs in underserved communities. It is another sign that Eala's influence is expanding beyond competition. The viral video with Coco Gauff, the emotional Barangay Toronto message, the Cincinnati arrival photos, and now the exhibition announcement are all adding new chapters to the same story. Alex Eala is not simply winning tennis matches anymore. She is winning hearts, building a massive following, and creating moments that fans around the world want to share. The Eala effect has officially gone digital. As the North American hardcourt swing continues to test her physically, her presence on social media has become another way for fans to stay connected with her journey. From TikTok to Instagram, every post seems to generate another wave of excitement, and supporters are hungry to see what comes next. But now comes the biggest question of all. What does this incredible Cincinnati arrival actually mean for Alex Eala's US Open hopes? The answer is complicated because while the Eala effect has made her one of the most talked about players on tour, the biggest test is still waiting in New York. Eala entered Cincinnati as the number 17 seed, the highest seeding of her career at a WTA 1000 tournament, and received a first-round bye that gave her additional time to recover and prepare. Ranked number 20 in the world and with no points to defend in Cincinnati after never previously playing the tournament's main draw, she has another valuable opportunity to climb the rankings. A deep run could potentially move her closer to the top 15 for the first time in her career. But Cincinnati is only the final major stop before the real challenge begins. The US Open is the main event. The tournament runs from August 30th through September 13th at Flushing Meadows, where Eala has already created history. Last year, she became the first Filipino tennis player in the Open era to win a Grand Slam main draw singles match, and now she returns to New York as a completely different player, a top 20 star, a WTA title winner, and someone who has already defeated some of the biggest names in the sport. The challenge now is managing everything that comes with that success. Tennis officials have emphasized the importance of rest after Eala's exhausting run through Washington and Toronto. Her schedule has been relentless, and by the end of her Toronto campaign, fatigue was clearly becoming a factor. That is why the Cincinnati first round bye could prove extremely valuable. Instead of immediately stepping onto the court, Eala has extra time to recover, reset, and prepare for the final stretch before New York. Her recent Wimbledon breakthrough and subsequent success in Canada have also given her another important ingredient: belief. Momentum can change everything in professional tennis, and Eala is carrying more confidence into this hardcourt swing than ever before. Yet she has remained careful not to put unnecessary pressure on herself. Rather than setting a specific target for how far she must go at the US Open, Eala has repeatedly emphasized taking the tournament one match at a time and one round at a time. That mentality could be crucial because expectations around her have changed dramatically. The viral arrival in Cincinnati may be a preview of what awaits her in New York. The Filipino community across the New York metropolitan area is enormous, and supporters are already eager to create the same kind of atmosphere that followed Eala through Toronto. Philippine flags, watch parties, and passionate crowds could once again become part of the soundtrack to her tournament. And with Eala scheduled to appear at Arthur Ashe Stadium for the August 27th exhibition match, fans will have another opportunity to see her on one of the most iconic courts in tennis before the US Open officially begins. For Eala, however, this journey is about much more than packed stadiums and viral social media posts. It is about building a legacy. Every victory gives young Filipino athletes another reason to dream. Every major appearance shows that tennis can belong to anyone willing to believe they can reach the top. The Cincinnati scenes are simply the latest chapter in a story that is still being written. After Cincinnati comes the US Open, and beyond that, more tournaments, more challenges, and potentially even bigger moments on the international stage. The tennis world is watching, Filipino fans are getting louder, and Alex Eala is just getting started. So the question now is simple. How far can she go? Can Eala turn this incredible momentum into another deep Grand Slam run in New York? Can she break into the top 15? And could the next major chapter of her career begin at the US Open? If you enjoyed this deep dive into Alex Eala's viral Cincinnati arrival and what it could mean for her US Open campaign, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more tennis stories, breaking developments, and the biggest moments from the world of Alex Eala. And most importantly, let us know in the comments, how far do you think Alex Eala will go at the US Open?